What's up, guys? So in the first vlog I was asking whether you think the distrust in science is actually partly, at least, the scientist's fault. So my friend Claudia actually replies to me on that on Facebook. Here's what she said. In my humble opinion, I think it's partially our fault. Most non-scientist people I've met here, meaning the place she's at right now studying her PhD, and back home, have symptoms of science phobia. As a physicist, I like to go to the root of the problem. Why do people attack science? Is it from their fear of the subject they don't understand? How do we make science more accessible to the general audience? To be honest, I think the only real answer I can give you on that is that I don't know. I honestly just don't know. And I have my own hypothesis. I've seen some documentaries where people who doesn't trust science talked about science, and I do know that there is a discrepancy between what they think science is, like how they think science work, and how us as scientists see science working. So there's definitely one of that. But I would imagine that it's a lot more complex than just one reason that people say I don't trust science. And you know what? I don't want to speculate on that too much because, well, as you said, Claudia, you're a physicist and you want to get to the root of the problem. I am also a physicist and I would like to get to the root of the problem. So you know what we can do now? Literature search. So yeah, so I type in distrust of science. Although Claudia did use the word science phobia, I think distrust is more of the word we're going for here. To be honest, it's kind of distressing in a way, because all of the first page that I've seen are essentially what looks like editorial or article in magazines. The one that comes up first is a New Yorker article, followed by Scientific American. Now that is not to say those stuffs aren't good, but honestly what I kind of want to see is the data of maybe a survey or something that shows, maybe categorize or talks about factors that goes into the distrust in science. But that is not coming up in the first page of my Google search. Well, actually, if you go distrust in science, you can actually go to Google Scholar. So let's try that. It's like only on the first page of the Google Scholar. So that's actually not a lot of study that's readily available to look at, surprisingly enough, considering this is a big topic. Like, so people talk about it a lot in editorials, but does nobody do like actually like any research into it? Oh, hang on. The article in Psychology Today actually cited a paper in Journal of Experimental Psychology General by Stephen Brumel and Patrick Kane. Let's go have a look at that. Okay, so the paper's name is Public Perception and Communication of Scientific Uncertainty. So, according to the abstract, which essentially is the summary of the article, what is saying is that what they're trying to look at is what the perception of uncertainty in scientific research does to how people trust those research, essentially. What else do we get? This one is actually pretty interesting. This is actually 1981 article, a commentary rather, on the fear and distress of science in historical perspective by I.B. Cohen. Now, if you know me, if you ever put the word science and history in the same sentence, you got me hooked. Okay, also stuck behind paywall right now. yeah, so I'll have to get to that later. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating, isn't it, when you're looking for, like, first hand sources and you got stuck behind paywalls. And these articles are not necessarily the cheapest thing. It's like $30 an article plus tax. So, Oh, hang on. This one is also interesting. Religion, paranormal beliefs, and distrust in science comparing East versus West. Okay, so this one, let me look at the abstract and who does this. Okay, the author is Magali Colbert and Vasilis Saroglo. So, I'm sorry if that pronunciation is absolutely wrong. I think it is absolutely wrong. In the Archive of Psychology of Religion. So now, according to the abstract, this one they look at how whether or not you're being a religious person determines your attitude towards science. And they're comparing this not only from the Western culture, they're comparing this from the Eastern culture as well. And their population for the survey is in South Korea. So they're a combination of Buddhist, Protestant, and Catholics. Interesting. I will have to see if once I get back to the university and see if I can actually get this one from inside the paywall. This is really interesting. Okay, there's another article here. Okay, the public understanding of science and public participation in regulated world. Okay, so there's just one author in this paper, and according to the abstract, it sounds like a review of a kind. Like here's the first sentence of the abstract. This article discusses studies and political initiatives concerned with enhancing public involvement in major technological decisions. Yeah, so this is not necessarily about the distrust, but it is about the interaction between the public and science. So might be like this. I don't know. This abstract is really vague. If I can get it for free, I might just look into what the introduction says. From what I can see from quickly looking on the internet, is that there actually surprisingly little actual research into the issue. There's a lot of opinion about it though. So I'm wondering, how do we get to the bottom of it? Because obviously the only person who really can tell us why they don't trust science is the people who don't trust science. And so would they want to talk to scientists about it? Would they even be in the sort of, would there even be a possibility that they would be in connection with someone in a scientific circle? Because it would be really interesting to actually have the data on this. And obviously I don't know how to do this because I'm a physicist. I do programming. I do not conduct a field survey. I'm not trained for that. So actually, if anybody has any resources, if anybody knows any article or any set of data, actually anything that give me the data about this, I would be super excited to look into that. And in the meantime, I'll look at some of the articles that we managed to find in a bit more detail. So okay, sorry Claudia, the answer is still I don't know, but we'll try to get to that. See ya.